Hey, Scruffy. I heard you meow a couple times while I was making your dinner. Wow. Walking in. Because it's cold out there? No, I don't think the cold bothers you. Okay. I think you're hungry. Okay. Let's get the food on the table. Put the glove on. I'm wearing gloves again, so I had to get a glove on top of a glove. Trying to use the table leg to help me. Where'd you go? Okay. Go sit down next to the chair. So I think this might be the coldest day we've had all season. It's, yeah, surprisingly cold. But I need to preface that with our days actually haven't been too bad this season. The nights have been kind of cold, but we've had a fairly large temperature differential between the days and the nights. So yeah, there's usually, or at least this winter, there's usually a pretty wide spread between night and day, and so the days actually haven't been too bad until today. So today, that differential seemed to disappear, and the day really wasn't much warmer than the nights. The nights didn't get any colder, so I don't think Scruffy's affected at all. It's just me. So I'm the one who's cold. Because, yeah, Scruffy's used to this. And, yeah, it did rain overnight, but I can see the deck, parts of the deck are still wet, but this section where I'm sitting right now is dry, so I have a leak in the roof. So that tells me we didn't get that much rain. So it's supposed to rain more today, at least according to the forecast, but I don't think it actually materialized. I kind of stayed in on purpose today because I was expecting it to rain, but even though it didn't look like it was going to rain, it was so cold today. It's decided, no, I think I'm just staying in. Although I've been neglecting my pull-ups, so I actually did that today. And that requires me to come outside because the pull-up bar is outside. But I don't have to stay outside very long. You can do a set and then go back in. But yeah, I haven't been doing enough of them. I'm getting weak. So yeah, I guess Scruffy, yeah, doesn't actually seem any different today. I thought maybe the weather might get to him, but yeah, I guess he's used to this. So the rain wasn't that bad, so I guess that didn't bother him. And then I guess this cold doesn't really bother him because it's not really cold enough for him. So it won't bother him. I did check before I went to bed to see if I could spot him in the shelter. And he was nowhere in sight, so I don't know where he was. But yeah, he didn't use the shelter. So I mentioned yesterday, I modified the shelter. So I took the thermal blanket out because I think he hates the thermal blanket. I think it scares him. I don't know. Actually, he's used it once or twice before, so I don't think he's scared of it. I just don't think he likes it. But yeah, he doesn't seem to like the blanket very much. And I took out a little bit of the straw from the shelter. I really grabbed onto that glove there, thinking maybe I put too much straw in there, so it's hard for him to get in. But I think he's just afraid of going in the shelter. I don't think he likes confined spaces. I think that's another reason he doesn't want to come into the house for very long. I don't think he's a cat that wants to give up his freedom. Doesn't like being confined in small areas. Perhaps when they TNR'd him, he got traumatized from being in a cage for the amount of time they had to TNR him. So anyway, yeah, the straw. I took a look at the straw at lunch, and it doesn't look like it's moved. I also put a so I moved the straw I took out because it was making such a mess. I just put it on the top of the blanket to carry it, and then I moved the whole thing over to the old cat carrier that he also really hates. That I leave on the table, and I put the blanket and the straw and the extra straw in the cat carrier, thinking if he doesn't want to try the shelter, he can also try the cat carrier. 2 years ago or over 2 years ago when I started this and I got the carrier, I was hoping he would use it as a shelter, but yeah, he really hates that thing. So I spent months trying to get him acclimated to it. I used to put food and water in the back of it and try to get him, accustomed to the idea that it's okay to go in the shelter. It's not a bad thing. It's not a trap. And every time, he would go in to get the food, he would just kind of try to keep his body outside as much as he could, and then stretch his head as much as he could to get the food, and then he would immediately dart in reverse out of it when he got the food. So he'd grab a bite and then dart out, and then he would repeat and rinse and repeat. So he would stick his head back in, stretch to get the food. If I put it really far back, he would have to go in. But even if he went in, then he would go in and then immediately reverse out. After he got his bite of food, and then he'd just keep rinsing and repeating. So he hates the shelter or the carrier. And I think it's the same thing with the shelter. So it's probably just any confined space. Probably doesn't trust. I don't know. Maybe if I took so I covered the doorway with a towel. I thought maybe it would help keep it insulated. So if he does go inside, it would keep him protected from the wind. But I don't know. Maybe that makes it more intimidating. Maybe if I got rid of the towel. But I don't know. I don't think it would make a difference. So I think I'll just leave it. Okay, I think I'm gonna get Scruffy's food. Okay, let's get your food. So let's get it down. Let's grab the brush. Oops. Okay. So, let's see. Did I see Scruffy today? Yeah, I didn't see him this morning. This afternoon, he was sleeping on the table. So, yeah, once again, I don't think the weather's bothering him. He was pretty exposed on the table. But, yeah, I didn't get any footage of that. But, did our lunch thing. Yeah, he also meowed when I was in the kitchen getting his food. I was actually just about to come out, and he did one loud meow I could hear. So, but I was already coming. So, and oh yeah, today I used up the last of the meow mix in my inside container, so I'm gonna have to refill that container at some point. Um, it's like all crumbs now, so there's a lot of really small bits and powder, and so Scruffy was really licking the plate to get every little crumb. I also added some of the Kirkland since I used up the container and looked a little short, so supplemented it with some of the Kirkland to bring it up to the portion. Actually, it was probably a little more than I give him normally because the powder is kind of dense. So normally the kibble has little air pockets, and so if you actually weighed it, I bet there was actually probably more kibble crumbs in total mass than what I normally give him. But oh well, he seemed to enjoy it. Hey, Scruffy. Here's your meow. Singular loud meow. Hear me in the kitchen? Oh. Okay, well, I guess you want your kibble, right? Yeah. Okay. So it really got cold, didn't it? It actually didn't get as cold as I thought it would last night, but today it actually doesn't feel much warmer than it was last night. Okay, so let's get your tonight's dinner is hearty cuts with real chicken and beef, the Kirkland kibble, and real turkey scraps. And I put in extra food tonight because I thought the weather was bad, and I thought Scruffy could benefit from some extra food, make his day a little less miserable. But he doesn't seem phased at all, so probably didn't need to give him the extra food. So I gave him both a little extra of the turkey and a little bit of extra of the kibble. He ate really fast last night too, so I wasn't sure, maybe he's a little extra hungry. So we'll see how he does tonight. I think yesterday, I don't know, did he set a record in how fast he ate? He's eaten fast before, but I think last night was, I think, one of his top times. I was very surprised how fast he got through that. So yeah, I did. Yes, in the video, yesterday's video, I had to cut the. So I was going to show more or talk more about the shelter, which I already talked about. But yeah, I had to quickly splice some pictures in last night's video. I might put the pictures in again. But yeah, basically the blanket in the shelter used to hang out, so it's too big to fit. It's too. I originally folded it, but it was kind of thick. And then Scruffy, one time he did go in the shelter. I don't know for how long, but he kicked out the blanket, so it was sitting on the deck next to the shelter. Um, then when I put it back in, it was I left it hanging out, so I fit what I could in the box, and then the rest of it just kind of laid out, kind of like the red carpet treatment. Welcome. But and I saw Scruffy sleep on that part, the outside part once, but then never again after that. And then I took out some of the straw, so there'd be a little more space to get in. Though my impression was the cats would just kind of go in the shelter and they'd bury themselves in the straw like the blanket because it's good insulation and dry. Um, so I thought there was enough room we get to begin with, but I took some out just in case. This is not using it. And then I accidentally broke the barrier of painter's tape, the blue tape. So I did that basically so the straw doesn't easily fall out of the box. So I wanted a little barrier so the straw doesn't get all over the place because of the wind or whatever. And then I broke the tape when I was taking out the blanket, and so I had to retape it. So Scruffy was at lunchtime, or after I fed him at lunch, and so he was kind of watching me from a distance, just trying to figure out what I was doing. And then, as I said, I took the blanket and the extra straw and I put it into the cat carrier. As far as I can tell, it doesn't look like he went in that either. I kind of expect you see straw kind of hanging out everything he goes into these things, and I also expect the straw would be on his stuck to his body because everything seems to stick to his body. His fur coat's something else. So I think Scruffy's almost done. I think I see a little bit of food under the balls. So yeah, he's closer to his normal eating time tonight. Although there's extra food in there, so yeah, it's hard to say. Is he eating faster, but the extra food's taking longer, or is he just eating slower? So he's a scarf and barfer. So. I don't think the ball is slowing down enough. Throw him with the balls. Oh wow, I think he actually got everything. I think I see one piece of party cut. Wow, he actually did get everything. So I think he's going after the gravy now. So I think the weather is pretty much going to be the same as this for the next several days. It's more rain, according to the forecast. So I'm kind of expecting to be stuck indoors. Okay, Scruffy's done. Thanks for watching. See you next time.